Players were screaming for it during the last beta, and now it's here. The number one thing players wanted in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls has been added to the game, and no, I'm not talking about this guy. Sony and Arc System Works dropped some huge Marvel Tokon news on us during the PlayStation State of Play presentation earlier this week, and within the reveals, they snuck in a major change to the game that everyone and their mama wanted. In addition to this, they revealed 3 new characters, the game's release date, and more. Saludos mi gente, greetings everyone, my name is Dream King, and today, we are talking about the Genosha-sized wave of Marvel Tokon news that just dropped. But before we get into it, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps out a ton, and it is always very much appreciated. Now, let's get into the video. During the State of Play, we learned that Marvel Tokon's launch roster is structured to revolve around teams and team captains. Captain America, Storm, Spider-Man, Doctor Doom, and Ghost Rider act as the 5 main team captains, and the first full-fledged team to be announced is the Unbreakable X-Men. This team consists of Storm as the team leader, and the 3 newly announced fighters, Wolverine, Magic, and Danger. We now know that there will be 20 characters on Marvel Tokon's launch roster when it releases on August 6, 2026, the game's release date also being revealed during the State of Play, of course, and there are still 9 fighters left to be announced. Because of this recent revelation, we can deduce that the remaining mystery fighters will all be related in some way to one of the 5 team captains, which makes for a lot of speculation on which Marvel characters are going to be on what teams. On top of all of this, Sony and Arc System Works also revealed that Marvel Tokon will in fact feature alternate costumes for its fighters. Those who purchase the game's Ultimate Edition will receive 5 character costumes for the 5 team captains, as well as an animated color pack for all 20 launch characters, among other in-game goodies. New characters, a release date, and costumes are all great reveals, but funny enough, the biggest thing that the fighting game community is excited about is something that the State of Play showed, but didn't outright announce. Based on the gameplay footage shown in the trailer, it has been confirmed that unique assists can now be used in combos and during pressure. Being able to use your teammates' unique assists outside of just neutral is a huge change, and it is easily the number one thing players wanted to see in Marvel Tokon. Previously, your character's unique assists could only be summoned if your point fighter was not currently locked into an attack animation. This meant that if you wanted to set up a more traditional combo or pressure string like you would in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, you could not do so without first creating specific scenarios that allowed your point fighter enough time to stop attacking to make the call. Instead, whenever you called an assist during your point fighter's attack, you'd get a universal strike assist that was the same across all characters, and when it landed, it would send the opponent rolling back into a tumbling state. During the last beta, this whole construct led to players of all skill levels immediately becoming furious with the game and the developers, declaring that the game sucks and that there was no sauce within the combo system. Those people were flat out wrong about that, and I have a whole video here where I break down how the combo system and assists actually worked back in that beta that you should check out when you're done watching this video. But all of that having been said, it looks like the days of Universal Strike Assist being the thorn in everyone's side are behind us. This new change to how assists work in Marvel Tokon has enormous implications, and ultimately unlocks a whole new layer to the game's depth and meta. The official Marvel Tokon Twitter account put out a short video tweet that quickly recaps the portion of the State of Play that talked about the 3 new characters. During Danger's section, we see the newcomer perform an attack string that gets blocked, and while she is recovering from the last normal in that string, we very clearly see her call Miss Marvel in for a unique assist. And if that wasn't confirmation enough that this change has been made to the game, we see Danger follow this sequence up by shooting out one of her stationary bombs above the opponent's head, then dashing forward for a quick overhead, all while the opponent is still locked down by Miss Marvel. This is exactly what players felt was missing from Marvel Tokon, and it's exactly what everyone wanted. Not only will this change allow players the ability to set up much more creative and interesting offense, but this will also have major implications on how combos work. Instead of being limited to just Universal Strike Assist, which is still in the game by the way, combo routes should be much more free-flowing now that you can utilize your team's unique tools seemingly anytime and anywhere on screen. We haven't seen or heard about what inputs will be used to call these unique assists in combos and block strings just yet, but what makes the most sense to me is the following. Universal Strike Assist mapped to just the assist button, so no directional inputs. Then forward, down, and back plus assist being your unique assists for shooter, anti-air, and assault positions, just like they'd be called in neutral. A change this significant makes me wonder if the development team is also making changes to the basic combo structure and how the combo limit works. Opening things up this much would undoubtedly lead to bigger and harder hitting combos, and I'd imagine they'd have to tweak the game elsewhere to accommodate for that. Interestingly enough, there is something in the recent trailer that might hint at exactly that, but I'm not sure I'm fully convinced yet, despite others in the community feeling that it's already confirmed. During the quick breakdown section for Wolverine, we see a clip where he has the opponent locked into a big air combo. He lands what looks like 7 normals in the air, but the combo limit bar only fills up by 5 points, which makes it appear that the combo limit bar is filling up more slowly than it normally would, and many believe that this might be an indicator that the combo limit system has changed and is more lenient now to coincide with the assist changes. But one thing I think people might be forgetting is that the combo limit bar counts attacks, not hits. So if you have a singular attack that does 5 hits during its animation, the combo limit bar will only increase by 1 to count that attack, not by 5 to count the hits. What I believe is happening here with Wolverine is that one of his air normals, likely jump medium, has 2 hits tied to its animation. What we're seeing in that clip looks to be the opponent being launched by one of Wolverine's assists, either Spider-Man or Danger, which wouldn't add anything to the combo limit bar because assists don't add to the combo limit. It's likely that the combo started with 1 or 2 grounded hits from Wolverine, and the assists added the other 2 hits to make the 4 hits on the combo counter we don't get to see before the clip begins. Wolverine meets the opponent in the air, does air light, air medium, jump cancel, air light, air medium, then spikes down into Universal Strike Assist. And if that's the case, this isn't the combo limit system being changed, but rather a combo that optimizes to get the most out of the limit without blowing out. What is interesting though, is that it does appear that the Universal Strike Assist call after the spike subtracts 4 hits from the combo limit bar. And I believe in the last beta they would only reduce the limit down by 2 hits. So it's possible that there was a change made to accommodate the new assist changes, but just not the one people think. And naturally, assists reducing the combo limit down further means longer and more intricate combos, which should only add to the free-flowing feel the new assist change is going to create. Marvel Tokon's latest fighters all look awesome, and seem to bring interesting and varied playstyles to the roster. Magik has a giant sword that helps her control space at mid-range, as well as a teleport that allows her to quickly move across the screen and get behind the opponent for tricky mix-ups and long-range punishes. She also has a big fireball, flame pillars that send the opponent flying into the air, and what appears to be an install mode which I imagine gives her access to new moves and or buffs her standard special moves. We see her use her fireball and flame pillars after the install is activated in the trailer, and it seems like that was deliberately demonstrated in the footage. So right now I'm guessing install gives her new moves that she can use, but we'll have to wait and see to find out exactly how it all works. Wolverine is described as an unstoppable, savage tank, which is exactly what you want to hear for Wolverine in a fighting game. He looks fast as hell, has all kinds of cool special attacks, and the developers noted that some of his claw strikes have armor on them, which means he's going to be an absolute bully in this game, and I'm so excited for that. Lastly, Danger is the seemingly oddball pick, and though a lot of people, including myself, didn't realize she was an established character in Marvel Comics beforehand, she is apparently the manifestation of the X-Men's Danger Room, and she utilizes the knowledge she's gained from training the X-Men to fight for herself. Danger morphs parts of her body into powerful weapons, and the devs say she specializes in zoning, which we can see from the various projectiles and stationary bombs she can place on screen. The idea is she wants to set up a lot of traps and things that the opponent is forced to navigate around to simulate an obstacle course she'd use to train the X-Men. Of the 3 new characters revealed, I am easily the most stoked for Wolverine. He looks so badass in this game, man, and I've played Wolverine in both MVC2 and MVC3, so I'm really looking forward to what he brings to the table in Marvel Tokon. Though I admittedly don't know much about her, I'm also very interested in playing Magik. Her tools look really cool in this game, and learning that she's actually Ileana, Colossus' sister, makes me want to have her on my team even more. Colossus is one of the main X-Men I wanted to see playable in Marvel Tokon, so I'll definitely take Magic as a consolation prize. As far as Danger goes, I think the idea of her is cool. She looks like she's going to be strong in this game, and she just seems like she's going to be one of those pain-in-the-ass characters to fight against. Plus, she gives me big Arya from Killer Instinct vibes. Would I have rather seen a different X-Men character added over her? Probably. But I'm also cool with letting Arxis do their thing and seeing how it goes. And I think the mixture of two major classic X-Men staples in Storm and Wolverine, and two more obscure picks is a good ratio to have. The recent Marvel Tokon news has me really excited to play the game again, and really excited for what the future may hold. I was already sold on it during the last beta test when a large swath of the community was declaring the game ass and saying it was dead on arrival, and these new changes and additions seem like they're only going to make the game more expressive and allow for more creativity, which I'm a huge fan of. The new fighters all look sick and are bringing interesting playstyles into the mix, and we finally have Wolverine back in a versus style game after what feels like an eternity. Plus, the developers specifically asked for feedback during the last beta, and not only is it clear that they're actually listening, but it's really impressive how quickly they made the new changes to assists. And it's weird, man. As much as I really like the changes to assists that were made, there's a small part of me that's kinda bummed out that they made them. It's not because I want the game to be more limited or anything like that. It's just because I feel like the developers were trying to do something different with the team-based fighting game formula and create their own identity to separate themselves from Marvel vs. Capcom. But the community screamed at them so loudly that it feels like they were kinda forced to listen, which kinda sucks. Part of me wishes we could see what the game would look like if Arxis had let it rock, and we actually got the game in our hands before those changes were made. But ultimately, these changes being added this early is probably for the best. I still have some concerns though, the first being that I hope that the developers continue to listen to constructive feedback and keep molding this game into something great. It's often that we see fighting game developers start out strong with transparency and hearing what the community is asking for, only to put the wall back up and go radio silent after the game launches. The whole characters are tied to specific teams thing also has me a little worried, because depending on how these affiliations work in the story mode, it could mean that we're waiting a long time for other characters within these franchises to be added to the game. If DLC characters also follow this rule, how long will it be before we see another X-Men team announced? And does this mean we're getting one team released per year? 4 DLC characters a season seems to be the magic number for a lot of fighting games right now. And with how vast Marvel's IPs are, I'm a bit concerned it could be a very long wait to see other fan favorites join the cast. But we don't know if DLC will also be team-based, so it's something we'll have to reserve judgment for until we know more. Above all else, I just want to get my hands on this game again, and I want to lock myself in the hyperbolic time chamber with a proper training mode. Especially with these new changes to the mechanics and the new characters, I am so ready to get back in and start finding all the filthy stuff. How do you feel about Marvel Tokon's big changes and the new characters? Say your piece in the comments below, and if you're still watching this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one.